What's up, everyone? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give a couple of minutes for everybody to get here. A sec. All right. Let's go. All right, there we go. We need this. Excellent. All right, we're live. Morning, everyone. So today we're going to talk about losses and your mental state when it happens, how to avoid them, not avoid them, how to deal with the mental states, and how to not get hung up on losses, and how to move forward, because the losses are just an inevitability in trading world. Okay, so how do you deal with it mentally? How to move forward is going to be the key points today, and then we're going to talk about obviously the markets, what I see, and everything else. So let's discuss this. So I tried to short gold on Thursday on the live on the webinar, which was we basically retested here. It started falling again on this retest to this order block here. I've sold. We sold live on air somewhere here. It started rolling over, but there was no oomph behind it. So my stop losses were here. Got stopped out. But if you don't marry your trades and you're confident in your system, you should be able to recover from those losses by not being emotionally attached to any particular trade. Okay, so then later that day, as you can see, so you don't think I'm full of shit. Here's the one sec. Here's the Telegram where it's live, as you can see. So on July 10th, that was Thursday at 11-ish, after I saw that it's breaking out, it's not going our way. This is the signals channel, whatever. I told everybody that I'm buying. Bought gold, took half off, closed it, took profit here. It reached TP right here. And then on Friday, and then it was, that's it, right? And now we've been consolidating. So the point of this is very simple. If, just because you have one losing trade, and if you're going to be obsessing about it, and instead of taking your loss and just moving on and finding the opportunity, you won't be able to be flexible. Flexible meaning I was short biased when the market showed me that it's no longer wants to be short. When we took out this high and we had a breakout, I simply bought the breakout, okay, and rode the momentum to the highs. A lot of professionals obviously rode to this high, popped the stops of shorts who were long-term shorts from here, and took profit around the highs. So this is what I did, and obviously the Apex Bull signals chat as well, right? So now that this is done, what do you do next? Well, first of all, let me show you an interesting part. If you draw fibs again from here to here, right? Today, we clipped 618 and reversed. Isn't that interesting? I keep talking about, and obviously I told you that we were going to be buying, not we're going to be buying, one second, wrong fib. One sec. Here. That last leg up also bounced exactly from 702. So the sweet spot between 618 and 782 is an amazing trade. You can do it both ways. Okay, so same thing here, 618, we hit it, immediately reversed. There's a reaction. That means the algos see this fib as pertinent and obviously produce the orders that they're programmed to do. Okay, so the big question is now, okay, what's next? All right, so what's next is very simple. We draw fibs again. You can do fibs the longer term from all the way bottom here, and then you can be looking to buy all the way down here, which will coincide with a retest of the breakout, or maybe even just 50% here. But that might be a little too aggressive. Also, you have obviously the daily ATR here, 702. So if we keep going down, this is definitely going to be a nice buy area at the end of the day if that happens, or if it happens sooner, it happens sooner. Another option is, though, do this. Now we're bouncing 38.2. We can do the same thing, but on a shorter time frame as a day trade. So we can draw the fibs from this last leg up on an hourly. You can clearly see one move, and till the end, right? So it's broken up in two. And how do I know that this is this level is respected? You can see that we've went down, and now we're mustering up a small bounce. And you can also see that we literally closed on the line of this 38.2. So there's definitely a reaction here. That means what? The algos see this fib. If they see this fib, that means the lower fibs more likely than not will be of importance. Now, so if you want to do a day trade, you can, like I said, the ideal, the conservative scenario will be going down all the way down to if we draw fibs from here to here, right? To correct this whole leg, but we don't know if this leg is over yet or not. It can bounce from here, do one more high, and then correct lower, okay? Or might not correct lower, period. But we need to spot areas of interest, and based on the areas of interest, we can now find trades that we can enter into, okay? So let me remove this, zoom in. There we go. So what are the areas of interest? All right, let's see. So obviously, like I've been talking ad nauseum, these are my favorite fib zones, 618 to 786. So if we start seeing, this is obviously the previous high right here. So if we start seeing that the price gets down here, we see again a candle like this with a follow through. Then you put your stop here. You target 1 to 1, 1 to 2. You can target, you know, at 1 to 1, you put it at break even or take half off. And if we see this or higher. Okay, so that would be the trade for today. Can it bounce from 38.2 because it's an aggressive up move? Absolutely. Am I going to be buying it? No, because I don't know if it's going to just correct a little and then do another leg down. Okay, so I don't want to be buying here just yet, even though the momentum is obviously positive now, right? So this was an impulsive move. This was the correction, as we were discussing. This was the correction, and we thought maybe it will do one more leg down. It didn't. Okay, so it did 3 down and then up. That's a reversal pattern. It's okay. So this was the corrective move. This is the leading move, corrective move, leading move, corrective move, leading move, corrective move. Okay, so you need to identify the trend. Obviously, the trend is now up. So what do we do when the trend is up? Very simply, we buy the dip. That's it. The question is, where do you buy the fucking dip? All right, people. You can also, obviously, if you're trading your own account and you want to enter, 1/5 here, 1/3 here, layer it in. You can do that as well, with your stops somewhere here, okay, or below here. Below daily ATR is the safest, obviously, spot. So if you layer in little by little, you could do that as well. In case you get like that, if it goes like this, at least you have some small runner going in your favor. You could do that as well. But for most prop firms, maybe it's hard to execute in this manner. So maybe, like I said, just aim for conservative A-type trades. A-type trade is what? This was a breakout. I'm sorry, this was the leg up, a little correction, breakout, and now we're waiting for a retest for a continuation, okay? So breakout, retest, continuations have been working since Kingdom Come. I've been talking about them ad nauseum, and same thing here now, okay? One sec, let me actually. So that was gold, and this is what I want to do with gold right now. Take a look at silver. So you can see silver didn't even stop. It just pumping. Finally, almost approached the daily ATR, and now it's rejecting lower. Also, something to notice, right? So, if you want to trade silver, how do you trade silver? Very simple. You want to find the last leg up. So this, you fib it. You see if you start getting reactions from the early fibs on. So 38.2, 50, etc. Again, where do you want to buy silver if you want to buy silver. Obviously, you have a peak here, and a confluence of fibs here. Is this a good breakout retest continuation? Absolutely. Right, to go. Let me make this different color. Let's do it white. So, right. So somewhere in the zone, previous resistance now turns support. We go like this, and off we go to the races. Okay. So again, I'll be looking for some reaction at this level here for silver for the same reasons. Because why? Well, the trend is up. So is it good to chase it up here? No. Look at this leg. It's one swift move up. Is it ready to correct? Absolutely. Should you short it? No, because you don't. The move is strong and it can become even stronger. It can do this and then do another leg up. So if you're gonna keep looking for tops, as I always tell you, you're gonna be a losing trader for the most part. Okay, because you're missing the meat of the move just to catch a little retracement bullshit. Okay, so instead of catching a little retracement bullshit, you wait for that retracement to happen because you don't know if it's gonna go here to 38, to 50, to 618, etc. So what you want to see a definitive reversal. So definitive reversal is what? A candlestick pattern exhibiting that the sellers are exhausted, the buyers came in and pushed them all out. Usually the candle that produces that type of reaction is this one right here and this one right here, okay? Right, pin bars. You can see that they tried to take it lower, couldn't. Tried. This was a very bearish candle at some point, right? Couldn't, and then off we go to the races. So that's all I want to see. I want to see a repeat of the same thing. All right, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna find the, 1 sec. I just want to get to your questions as well. So I'm going to have, let me just find the window. Give me 1 sec. There we go. All right. Oof, a lot of questions. All right, we'll have one of our mods paste me your questions because I can't be reading the whole feed, obviously. Okay, so same deal. This is self-explanatory. The move is what? The trend is what? The trend is up. We want to look for buys. We don't want to look for sells when the trend is up, right? Because you're pissing against the wind. Is the RSI overbought? Yes. Can it become even more overboardish? Absolutely. Look at Bitcoin RSI. You know what I mean? It goes into absolute madness. Okay. So just because RSI is overbought, forget about that bullshit. All it is, you might be a little bit of a retracement, but you don't want to teach your brain bad habits, because in trading it's very simple. Like I've been explaining, your brain is going to remember this one win, but this thing is going to ignore the subsequent 5 losses of the same style, right? And you can see it's barely anemic movement. It's not really. There's nothing behind it because the buyers are still there. Just because the RSI says something doesn't mean shit. Okay? So your job is to be patient. It's Monday, and I've been telling you most Monday and Fridays traders either trade very small amount or they let the market kind of establish the range first for the next week, and then you make your money Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are the best days because now you have market is revealed its card for the week, so to speak. Obviously, if some other new economic news come out, you will have to change the market might change their directions, etc. But at least it's showing you the initial ranges after the weekend, and then you can make your subsequent analysis one way or another. So Monday is it's an establishment day. It establishes some kind of range or trend. It sets the tone, so to speak. Okay, and then based on that tone, then you can rock and roll. And what usually happens is you have Monday, you have one of those price actions, you know, it skyrockets. Tuesday you got a pullback, and then the rest of the week it just trends up. Why? Well, so, and that's why they call it turnaround Tuesday. So Tuesday is a pullback, gives you a chance. That's when you enter the long, and the rest of the week it continues the trend. Obviously, if you have the follow through proper setup, you take that trade, and that's the way you trade. You know, that's how you navigate the whole week. Okay, don't look at it just because it's 9:15 a.m. morning, blah blah blah. It doesn't mean diddly squat. One second. So that's gold and that's silver. Let's see. Bitcoin obviously is just crushing it because U.S. I think U.S. Congress or U.S. Senate, they have some kind of crypto week discussion bullshit, circle jerk, which means that the traders are betting that the U.S. government will be more and more and more in favor of crypto, specifically obviously Bitcoin. Forget all these shit coins. It's a waste of fucking time. You can trade them, but as you can see, they're always just a fucking headache, you know? None of them are hitting all-time highs. There's a new one come out every time. Stop jerking off, okay? That's a jerk-off fucking trade and dabbling in this bullshit nonsense. That's your all these coins are. It's just you gambling which one of these shit coins will, you know, you put $100 and hope that one of them will, you know, go to stratosphere. That's not a long-term solution of making money. That's bullshit. All right, we're teaching you trading, not just lucky gambling. And yeah, oh yeah, that retard bought it at 0.0001 cent, and then, you know, he's a millionaire now. Okay, fine. You want to play that game? Play that game. See how it works out. Because what they don't teach you, or what they don't tell you on YouTube and Instagram, are millions and millions of losers who gave their $1,000 or $100 and never seen that money again. Okay, and that's how that fuckface made $1 million. Okay, so stay away from garbage. It's garbage for a reason. Even ETH is garbage. Can't even fucking muster, you know. Bitcoin is pumping all-time highs, right? Bitcoin pumping all-time highs. And ETH is still fucking around in, you know, in the middle of nowhere, you know? So it should have been 6K, 10K by now with the price move of Bitcoin, okay? But it's anemic. So stay away from that shit too. Now, how do you trade Bitcoin at this point? All right, so as I've been alluding ad nauseum, you have breakouts. Then it takes a while, but you always get a retest. You have a breakout. It took a few months, 3 months, 4 months, and then it retested the highs and bounced. So what's the plan here? Same fucking thing, okay? So if you're not along now, probably not a good way to just buy all-time highs, because it can correct like this, or at least here. So the next logical level where you should be looking for buying is right here. You want to see some kind of retest, and it will come, and then a bounce. Okay, so you buy the bounce because why? Because the trend is up. That's why. You don't need to analyze anything or do anything. It just, what is the price doing? Price is doing this. What's the price? Price is a reflection of all of the traders' psychology, the momentum and what they're thinking, and if this is what's happening, just do this. Stop pissing against the wind. Stop looking for tops. Stop looking for reversals. The only reversals you should be looking for are in the direction of the trend. Okay. So that's how I would trade. If I'm holding obviously Bitcoin for a while now, but if you're not in Bitcoin, this is the setup you should be looking at. Okay, 1 sec. Let me remove all this. My fabulous drawings. So there's plenty of room to go. You know, we're at 121. I'm talking about, again, longer term holding, not day trading this. So what do you think? You can go from 122 to 112 in a few days? Easy, right? So why are you going to chase up here? Because you don't know if it's going to stop here or it's going to stop here or here or here. You know, it can keep going, and but you're what? You're teaching yourself to FOMO in, right? You're not disciplined. You're FOMOing it in and this is how most traders get caught. They FOMO in, and then the price corrects. They get stopped out, and then the smart money buys the dip again because they're patient, and that's why losers are losers and winners are winners, because winners have the discipline to sit and wait for the opportunity to be proper. Losers chase shit. They're like a headless chicken, going one direction, then second direction, third direction, without any proper understanding of what the fuck is going on. And this is why they get taken to the laundry, you know, to the cleaners. So if you don't want to be taken to the cleaners, if you're tired of losing money, be patient. Patience is the only thing that will make you money in trading. If you're not patient, and God knows I was not a patient young man, the market will beat the patience into you like a rented fucking mule. It will beat the shit out of you until you become patient. That's what happened to me. This is what happens to every single trader on the planet. They get beaten into becoming patient. Okay, so it's a fine process. You know, just you can speed it up by being smart, or you can be an idiot and wait for 2 years of losing money, and then you get to that point. If you get to that point, if you don't quit by then, right? So just be smart about it. Wait for the pullback. Wait for the retest. Why are we waiting for the retest? Because it did it every fucking time. It does it. It does the same thing over and over and over and over. It moves in these patterns. And what do we want? We want to see pattern recognition. Okay, if it's moving in these letter steps, at the bare minimum, draw some fucking fibs. You know, maybe draw from here to here and find some kind of area where to buy. Let's just, for shits and giggles, see how deep was this pullback. So we didn't get to 618, but between 50% and 618, but the previous high was here. Okay. So we literally almost retested, whatever, this couple of points. Retested the all-time high, orders were sitting right above, and the price moved the fuck on. So whoever is buying these dips, they see these things. So what should you be doing? Should you be leaving an order all-time high? No, you don't need to. You could have bought it after you saw a bounce. You could have bought it here. You could have bought it here. Doesn't matter. You see a bounce, and then you get an impulsive move. Why do you get an impulsive move after correction? Because that's how markets move, right? They move. There's an impulsive leading move, corrective move, leading move, corrective move, leading move, corrective move, and especially assets like Bitcoin or stocks. Stocks have been doing this since. Here's a monthly chart. Where's the trend? What should you be doing? How about this reversal candle right here on a monthly motherfucking chart? Right, during when was it? During the Trump, when he just took the office, and everybody were saying how the tariffs will ruin the economy, and the markets is down for because it went up too much, and so they closed their positions, they went short, and they got squeezed the fuck out. Okay, and where did we magically did a turnaround at the previous high? Okay. Breakout, retest, continuation. Breakout, retest, continuation. Okay, that's all you got to remember to make money, and fibs. That's it. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening with stocks, since we're talking about stocks. Again, they're directionless because no catalyst, no fundamental catalyst is happening, so they're just ranging right now. So you can buy the low of the range. Don't sell the top of the range. Why? Well, because the trend is up. You don't know when this type of whatever is going to be over, right? Why? So there's no point in shorting this. You should be buying the dip. So buy the low of the range. Where should you be buying? Okay, so this was the previous top. Okay, so maybe breakout. This was the breakout. This is the retest, and this is the continuation, right? So if you see a candle like this, with a reversal candle, with then the next day the follow through, put your stop here and target 1 to 1, 1 to 2. There is your trade. Even on a monthly fucking chart, it was obvious, right? So this is an exhaustion move. You took out the high. You obviously you don't have the capital to trade, like this, but you know, there's still room to go even for 1-to-1 on this motherfucker. Okay. So what do? We wait. We wait for clean area to enter our, plus it's a V-shape recovery, so more upside. NASDAQ, same thing. Previous all-time high. Wait for a little bit of a correction. It's now in a range. It's not doing anything. There's zero, not zero, but it's not really, you know, it's just, it's inside the range. Okay, so you want to buy it to target the highs here. But you know, obviously look for buys around the lows of the range, you know, and don't try to sell it here. Don't, because you never know when this is going to be over and it's just going to shoot up and stop you out for no reason. Okay, so that's us on stocks. US 30. Let's see, US 30 daily. US 30 even can't muster even to take out the highs yet. It will, but for some reason it doesn't, and I don't want to be buying anything here. I'd rather it break out, then retest, and then buy it. Okay, so this is the same. I know this sounds repetitive and boring, but that's what trading is. I don't have 17 billion different setups. Okay, and this, I'm gonna do this. And I just have 2, 3, 4 different various, you know, I have reversals, I have trend ones, the ones I'm teaching you because they're the easiest and the best ones and the most successful ones and the ones that make you money. And that's that. I have intraday and I have swing trades. I have an arsenal of trades, but bread and butter trades are fibs, retest, continuations. And that's why every day on live, I'm explaining to you same concept and I'm showing you that it repeats itself. And all you got to do is just take the repetition, you know, just take what repeats, that's the whole point of trading. You don't look for completely new setups every day. Okay, so today I'm going to do this, you know, don't reinvent anything. Your job is to spot the pattern and take advantage of that pattern while it's repeating itself. And I'm teaching you patterns that repeat themselves. That's all you got to do as traders. Okay. And most people, they just, you know, okay, this is, I don't have a setup here. What is it going to do? And then, they pontificate, they mentally masturbate, and then they get long, and they go short, and then they lose, okay? Because there's no consistent, repetitive, statistical advantage to your trading, okay? There's no pattern that repeats itself that gives you a probability that it will likely happen again and again and again and again. And that's what your job as a trader is. It's not to fucking just sit and figure out at any given moment, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? I don't give a shit if it's going to go up or down. I'm only going to give a shit when it gets to the level that I give a shit about, okay? That's it. So when it's in the middle of this range, I couldn't care less that it goes up or down or whatever. I'm just going to wait for my setups, and that's it, okay? So there's absolutely zero point in chasing anything or trying to figure out, because there's billions of an infinite amount of permutations of what can happen. So your brain and nobody's brain, nobody can figure out at any given moment if it's going to go up or it's going to go down. Okay, but what you can do is identify patterns through journaling, through running statistics on your trading style, on your setups, and see if they work out or not. And then you just take the same shit over and over and over again. It's not exciting. It's not a fucking casino. I've been telling everybody, you know, since I'm trying to make you understand that this is boring. It has to be boring, because if you're excited, you're going to be losing money. When you're excited or you're sad or whenever you're in the emotional roller coaster, your brain is not operating from your with logic, okay? You're now emotional, and when you're emotional, we all make stupid decisions when we're emotional, don't we know, right? So that's why when you don't get emotional and you don't marry trades, okay, so I was wrong. Oh my God, I was wrong. You know, the trade tried to run, it didn't run. So fucking beat, okay? So that allowed me though to see that this thing is not going down, it's reversing. So I took the opposite trade. I took I took a long, and I made my money back, okay? And that's it, no harm, no done, because I was flexible enough to switch my bias at a whim. because I'm not emotionally involved. I'm just looking at what the price is telling me what it's doing. And that's what requires you to be a professional, because if you think that, okay, I'm going to listen to Stan or anybody, any trader on live on air, I'm going to just follow his trades, and I'm, oh, he took 3 losers. Oh my God, he doesn't know how to trade, right? No, it's literally just a series of 100 trades. In that series of 100 trades, you're going to have a bunch of losers. You just take them and you move on. It affects you in no shape or form if you have proper risk management and you don't let the fucking stop loss run against you, because I have to be right, because you have an ego still, and market will beat that ego out of you real fast by making you lose money, okay? So that's why you need to be flexible. And if you see that the price is not doing what you thought it's going to be doing and it's doing something else, so change your mind change your mind and go with the direction of what the market is telling you it's doing. That's it. Very simple. So same thing now. It's Monday. We just had the stock market open. Let's see. Look how immediate volatility. Why? I've been explaining to you since last week, since previous webinars, that the order book is now being executed from Friday and over the weekend, okay? A lot of big players left a lot of orders with their brokers, and now that book is being executed. So let these orders get executed, because it can do just weird shit for the next at least 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes even. All right? So let them duke it out, and whichever side wins from this opening range, that's the side you want to join. Okay? That's whether it's up or down. If you want to trade momentum on a 5-minute chart during the day. I'm not doing that, but if you do want to do it, see, that's the opening. So let the opening bullshit play itself out, and then you join the party. Once you start seeing an established trend, you jump on that trend. Okay, let's see what gold is doing. Okay, gold is, yeah. I mean, if you really want to do intraday, maybe this would be a sell like that. But the trend is up. I wouldn't sell gold. Like I said, my preferred setup, not fucking around on a 5-minute chart, is to look for buys at, wait, let's go here. Look for buys at appropriate levels, because this was the top sell-off. We're retesting this order block here, and we can easily go like that. And that's where I want to be a buyer. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. So what's the biggest mind shift you top traders have to make to become consistently profitable? Okay. So the question is about being confident and profitable. The only way you're going to have confidence in this business is if you obviously put in reps. By reps, I mean you take the same thing over and over and over again, and then you see that out of 100 trades, the pattern will repeat itself 65-70% of its time, and then you don't know when it's not gonna work, and you don't know when it's gonna work. The only thing you can do is just identify the pattern, jump in that pattern. That's how you get confidence, but that takes about a year or two. All right, it takes a lot of effort playing around. We all first start with gazillion shit on our charts, right? And we slowly but surely, through a process of elimination, we remove all the garbage that doesn't work, and we only leave the stuff that resonates with us, and we kind of see that over and over and over, it repeats itself. But to go through that amount of tools and ways of trading and identifying whether it's for you or not for you, because you don't even know who the fuck you are yourself or what should be your style, right? You have to experiment, and that takes years, okay? at least a year of this is guaranteed most of the time, especially if you're a young guy, because you have zero patience, zero discipline. You still have, I don't want to, but anyway, it simply takes reps. You know what I mean? Most young people who come to this business, they think that, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym for 2 weeks, work out real fucking hard, and then they're gonna look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I look like fucking Adonis, you know? No, it takes years. It takes at least a fucking year to get into really, really nice shape, right? Of consistent working out several times a week, 3, 4, 5, whatever, right? Plus diet, plus other stuff. So same thing in trading. Why do you think that you're gonna just waltz into the trading world and you will be able to outsmart everybody who's spent decades doing this, and all of a sudden you, the fucking genius, and I don't mean you specifically, everybody is a fucking genius when they start in this business, right? You're just gonna figure it out in 1 month. No, you're not gonna figure out dick from fuck, you know? All you're gonna figure out is how you're gonna have beginner's luck, the market will trick you, suck you in, and then you're gonna be on your losing streak until you start honing the craft of through a process of elimination of shit that works to that shit that doesn't work. And that takes a year or two of consistent work and identifying what works for you, what kind of patterns resonate with you. And these are the patterns that I've been trading successfully for a very long time. So I'm sharing that with you for free. You know, I could easily record a course, charge $5,000, and that will be it. You know what I mean? So don't buy any courses, just plenty of free shit on YouTube. It's not about the system. There are plenty of systems that work. 5-minute charts, 1-minute charts, daily charts, swing trades, day trades. There are plenty of shit that works. Your job is to try them all, try as many as possible. And over time, you're going to start seeing that little pieces start working, resonating, and some shit that just doesn't work with you. So you fucking, you discard it. And after doing 10,000 trial trades, you know, that's when you start seeing patterns that, okay, I out of 10,000 times, I see that this pattern is repeating itself in a similar manner that I can take advantage of. And that's what the system is. Okay? And that's where you build confidence, because you've seen it work. So you just take the, you know that you've seen it work X percentage of time throughout a series of 1,000 trades. And that's how you become confident. That's how you become, you just rely on the data. You don't rely on your confidence because you're a strong macho guy. Ooh, fucking, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Market will break anybody. Anybody. That's why they used to blow their brains out and jump out of the fucking windows. The toughest of toughest. Okay? So just, you know, the confidence is not just you coming around, okay, I'm confident as shit. Market will slap you silly, boy. You know, so as they say in South. So stop being, the confidence and the ability to trade only simply comes from reps that you take while you identify and learn to spot the patterns that work for you. And the teachers, free teachers, plenty of them, will teach you what works for them, so you kind of see what you can try for yourself. And you'll take some tools from me, some tools from ICT, some tools from Shmicity, smart money concepts, retarded money concepts, fucking whatever money concepts, right? Elliott wave, week off, whatever, you know, supply demand, market theory, whatever. They're trying to describe the same phenomenon using different terminology, but it's the same thing at the end of the day. So you need to just absorb like a sponge in the beginning, the first year, all these little disciplines, and then find out, okay, so I took Kung Fu, okay, clearly it's not for me, I like Muay Thai, because, you know, I see that it's, you know, while you're doing all this bullshit, you know, a boxer will punch you in the motherfucking face, that hurts. And So, you know, and that's how all the, by the way, that's how all the MMA, you know, found out which styles are the best, right? You have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have wrestling, you have Muay Thai and boxing, right? All the Kung Fu and whatever nonsense we used to watch not we used to watch, but from TV, karate, shmarate, bullshit from 1970s and 60s when it first, this guy, well, turned out, yeah, that shit is fucking useless, pretty much. In real shit. Same thing here. You're gonna see a lot of bullshit on YouTube. You're gonna see even more bullshit with the paid courses. So forget about that. Your job is to just sift through that bullshit, and everybody has to go through that process. And then you will find shit that works. So okay, I borrowed Stan's 618, 786 zone of buying. Okay, somebody else taught you some whatever any other concept, and out of those 100 different things that you try, you're gonna have 3, 4 that stick out the most, and that's what you incorporate. And then you start experimenting, and to experiment you need to take 100 trades minimum to see if this pattern works. Why? Well, because market goes through cycles. You want to see how this trading style works in the trending market, in a consolidating market, in reversals, and then continuations. All right, and that simply takes time. So just because something doesn't work 3 times and you're like, okay, this shit is garbage, it's meaningless. You need to test it, and most people, again, they're late. Most people don't even want to take a journal entry and say, okay, I bought this here because I thought that this is what it's gonna do, and these are the reasons why I bought it here. Okay, if you cannot explain your trading system within 30 seconds in simple terms, then, you know, like breakout, retest, continuation, buying the deep pullback fib zone in the direction of the trend. All right, trading reversals from daily ATRs if you want to do reversal trading on scalps, whatever. You can do gazillion different things, but you need to articulate it and the only way to articulate it in a very brief elevator pitch is when you start understanding it. And you're only going to start understanding it when you're going to see this type of trading through all market cycles. All right? Hope it helps. All right. So our gold is literally stalling at this previous right here. So you see this sort of this trading range right here is providing resistance, and it's having a hard time. So that's a good sign. I don't want to buy it here. I want to buy it lower, because the probability, the more it goes, the faster it goes somewhere, the faster it might produce a reversal. Okay. So again, where are the zones? Here, previous high, resistance turn support, right? And so breakout, retest, continuation. That's it. There's no magic. There's no. It's boring. And when I was told that trading is boring in the beginning, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because as a 20-year-old, everybody, okay, fast cars, fast women, nightclubs, all this bullshit that associated with this business. It's all bullshit that kind of lures you in, but it has nothing to do with the reality of trading. Okay, so like I said, let's wait for the pullback and continuation, breakout, pullback, continuation, best pattern, one of the best patterns into the deep fib zone. So what are the deep fib zones? We've identified already, again, ad nauseum. Even if you just this last leg up, again, you see that the price didn't want to close below this fib. The algos came in and started buying. And can he keep running? Yeah, keep running. So what? So it leaves without me. Just like last Monday when we were last week when I was saying I want to be looking to buy a 708, it happened on Wednesday. We started trading on we were somewhere here, and I said I'm gonna just wait, right? So this is and this one trade, is, can make more money than you taking 17 trades right now. So again, the pattern is going to repeat itself. I don't know when, I don't know how frequent, but when I see it, I take it. And that's it. So again, does it mean, so what if I don't have a trade today? Okay, you're a failure. No, I'm not an idiot, because I'm not going to be chasing random price action where it's a crapshoot whether it's going to go up or down. I'm only going to take trades where I have confidence. And why do I have confidence in this trade? Simply because, again, it's the same pattern that repeats itself. You have previous all-time high coinciding with 708 between 618, halfway point between 618 and 786, deep pullback. So at least it's going to produce some kind of reaction from this level, okay? So even if it's attempts to run and reverses, by the time it's going to start reversing, I'm already going to be at break even. All right? So I'm not going to be holding, you're still going to see, in gold's term, 10 point, 15 point pop before you, or if you see it stalling, get out. Again, with a plus 2 point profit or break even, or -2, whatever. And rejoin afterwards, reassess. That's all it is to trading. All right. Jesus, that's a lot of stuff being said here. Yada, yada, yada. Ooh. All right, Nick. All right, guys. I got maybe another 5-10 minutes in me. So, Nick, if you want to do your magic, do your magic. Because there's, I think we've discussed everything. And you can see, again, first order book executed up, then immediately reversed, and people who were impatient, who were, okay, there's a breakout, let me buy it here. They're already underwater. That's why you have to let market kind of establish its trend. And now let's see what happens for today, okay, with the stocks. And you can see there's a lot of discombobulation with what all the stocks are doing. I don't like that. It's a lot easier to trade when they're all moving tandem. So you have S&P 500 down, up, NASDAQ way down, took out the lows. Now we're trying to bounce, and US 30 just up action, okay? So to me, I prefer when everything just moves in one direction. That's clear momentum of what's happening, and you just follow the momentum. All right, guys. Tomorrow, well, hopefully we'll have another guest on. And. All right. And I guess let's wait for, if you want, what I'm going to do is, if I see these things develop more into a trade, I will post those trades in the analysis page on our Discords, okay, on Funding Futures and Funding Traders. You can find the links, obviously, so in the description. I'll do the same for futures contracts like gold, silver, if I find something more interesting. And same thing with the CFDs if you're trading forex on FT. Okay, let's take a look at US dollar. Fine, let's take a look at yields. Okay, yields are dropping, so the dollar should be not. That's 15-minute. Okay. Yield, yeah. So the yields are dropping. The US dollar is probably going to go down a little bit. So you can see that this is kind of exhausted in euro. And again, what am I talking about? The bounces. So this is a fib that we drew, I don't remember when. Is it respecting 50%? Yes. Is it respecting 618? Yes. Even here, you see that the candles didn't close at 708 midpoint, and a small bounce got produced. Same thing again, 786. This thing, obviously, I'm not gonna looking. This was an impulsive move. Now we're moving down. So here, this is getting risky because it can still keep going down. So here, for me to start buying this, I would need to see a change in trend through establishing higher low, higher high, and then a high and a higher high. Okay, I need to see this switch before I'm gonna start looking to buy here. Okay, so that's pound. Aussie is doing well. Can just fib here, find a decent zone to pull back and do this. Kiwi, let's see. Okay, just for shits and giggles, last leg up. All right, then you can see the reversal candle, right, from deep pullback, because this is why I like to buy deep pullbacks, because deep pullbacks, they go deep, right, and then they exhaust themselves to move, and they reverse. This is a daily chart. Obviously, wouldn't be trading daily chart, but again, and look at 4 hour, did not close below 786. So do the does somebody know something, or is this just fucking pure coincidence every single time, right? So figure out, maybe there's something to those fibs after all, you know. All right, I think let's call it a day. It's been 50 minutes of yapping. Like I said, today, Monday, Fridays are usually, Monday is we establish the range for the trading week, and then we either break out one way or another. And Friday is a profit taking day. So the meat of your trading should be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right. On that note, I will seize you all tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we go from there. All right. Cheerios. Thank you, guys.